Hello everyone, and welcome to Steel Force Welding and Forge. Today, my friends, I'm going to show you how to make a swaging tool out of an old gas tank. Okay folks, so the length that I've determined that I'm going to make this particular swage tool is going to be 36 inches. Right here. So now we have to cut all the way around this unit, and I want to make this cut as square as possible. The more time I take in fabricating this, the easier it's going to be down the road when I have to square this to that piece of plate. So to do this, we're going to use this tool called a wraparound. This particular one is by Curvomatic. I'm going to show you the method that I used, or that I learned how to cut around piping when I was briefly a fitter. So the first thing you want to do, take your wraparound, wrap it around your unit like so, and you pinch it together like so with these edges square. Throughout this process, keeping the edges of this thing square is what's vital. So we're going to pinch it kind of close to the base of where the unit we're cutting is. Find our mark, and we're going to slowly move up to our mark. So we're just on the tip of that arrow. Pinch it tight. Now we're going to hold this down, let it fall. I'm going to wrap up the shorter portion, and we want to keep this tight. Like so, and again, keeping these lines lined up. Come around here, wrap it on the bottom. Again, we want to make sure we keep everything lined up. You just kind of rub around it like this to get out any bubbles that there might be in it from wrapping it around the unit. Now, ensuring that we have everything lined up, the edges of this wraparound is lined up all the way around. It's nice and tight. Take our marker and trace it all the way around. All right, let's double check our line. Okay, we are 36 on the nose. Check the other side. This. Woo-wee. There we go. Man, you ever wondered how thick those cylinders are? Look at that. It's probably 3/8 of an inch thick. They're not messing around when they make these. Now the next step is to find the center of this circle. So when we put our tank on top of it, our swage will be right in the center. Now there are several different ways to find the center of a circle. I'm going to show you a couple. They all start the same way. The first step is to always find the diameter of your circle. In this case, our diameter is 23 3/8. Now notice how I'm moving the tape measure back and forth across this radius, or this circle. What I'm trying to find is the largest point on the tape measure, which is 23 3/8. 23 3/8. Then we need to find half of that number, which is 11 11/16. So from here, there's two different things you can do. One, you can take a compass and you can move this compass out to 11 11/16. You start on the edge of your circle and you simply scribe a line and scribe a line. Wherever those two lines intersect will be the center of your plate. Now this plate's a little bit too big to use that method. This is the biggest compass that I have, so we're not going to do that. Another option is to take a combo square and a normal square, and you can set this in a way where you will line the corner of your square in the bottom corner here up with the 45 on your combo square. I'm sorry, I apologize. Just this inside corner, and you have a center finder. You can put that on a circle, like so, and it'll go straight down your circle. Unfortunately, again, this is a very big circle, so this method won't work. So all I'm going to do is find my 11 and 11/16 mark. I'm going to find the longest point on my circle, which is right there. So here's my 11 and 11/16. Now I'm going to find a mark going the same way, close to in line of that mark, same mark as before. And my 23 3/8 right there. Here's my 11 and 11/16. You can kind of see how these 2 points are pointing at each other. What you gotta do, score a little line where they intersect, and that should be our center. The way to double check this is to check this from multiple points on this plate. If every single time that center comes out to 11 11/16, we're good. Good. We're good. Now, to make sure I can always find that mark again, I always center punch it. Take our center punch, put it right in the middle of those two X's, and now we have a permanent mark that will not go away. So now the next step is just to scribe some lines. The next step is we measure the opening of the swage block, 9 inches and 1/16 exactly. So what we're going to do, take half of that measurement and measure out from the center and mark lines. That will be where the edge of that cylinder will have to go. So half of 9 is 4.5 plus a 16th would be a 32nd. We take half of that, so it's just a hair over 4.5 inches. Boy, that puppy is heavy. So this step is pretty straightforward. All we're going to be doing is dumping sand in here and packing it down the heavy 2x4. We want to make sure this sand is packed really tight. Otherwise, this is just not going to make a good striking surface. The energy is just going to bounce out and kind of go everywhere. And also, it's going to move around too much by putting the sand in, weighing it down. It should sit nice and sturdy. Now, I'm not sure if I bought enough sand or not. I had no idea how much to buy. I just bought a bunch of bags. Hopefully it's enough. We'll see. Okay, so the next step is welding the plate onto this stand. Now we're presented with a bit of a difficult dilemma here. First of all, when you weld metal, it moves. Bows, warps, all that good stuff. So if we put this plate on here and just weld it solid all the way around, it's going to warp like crazy. It's going to sit and wobble on the floor. That kind of happened to my stand for my post vise. Don't want that to happen here too. And I did weld that kind of on the cold side. The other problem is if we tack this upside down, we can't turn it over to weld it because, as I said before, this isn't perfectly square. There'll be a little bit of a gap in there, and with those gaps, I'm not sure if any sand's going to leak out or not. And then the third problem, it's not square, so is the sand even going to stay packed in there? You know, what's going to happen? I'm not sure. So it may be best, if it's not too out of square, to just put it on there flat and weld it as is. So what I think we're going to do, put it on here flat. We'll see how square it is. Hopefully it's not too out of square. If it's just slightly out of square, not a big deal. Just put our plate on. I think we'll just weld it as is and I'll deal with it. Maybe I'll put some leveling feet in it. Alright guys, sorry about that. My phone ran out of storage space. I had to go through and delete a bunch of stuff. All I did was put a total of 8 tacks on this thing. Now, flux core does not like to be just welded and held in one spot. It likes to move. If you hold it in one spot, you tend to get porosity. You don't want porosity here. So, made my 6 tacks. What we're gonna do now, since we ended up welding this thing on here tight, instead of welding it square, we can go ahead and lay it on its side. This way I can do these welds vertical down. It'll be a little bit easier to weld and a little bit cooler. So I'm gonna go ahead and tip it on its side. We're gonna clean off these tacks. We're gonna start welding. Wow, that is heavy. So here is the new swaging tool all put together. And let me tell you folks, this thing weighs a ton. Now, I mean, I can move it, but it takes a lot of effort. So that's definitely not going to be going anywhere while I'm working on it. Now, I did also notice that there's almost no return on this when you strike it with a hammer. When you hit it, there's almost no bounce. But I don't know how you would get around with that other than finding something that's solid and then some kind of tool steel topping, which isn't going to happen. So unless you're willing to drop the however many hundreds of dollars for an actual swaging block, gotta work with what you got. So let's go ahead, fire up the forge, and let's see if we can do some cupping on some scrap metal. Alright, I'm going to try and get all this on camera. I'm not a videographer. This is the piece I'm going to try forging. This is a very non-square piece of the steel. Now the forge has been running a lot today, so I'm not sure how much fuel I got. I'm going to try experimenting with something. I bought this. It's called a bumper hammer. Now this really isn't meant for forging, but I just happen to have this. I restored it from something else, and look, it's in there almost perfectly. This thing is a monster though. So we're going to see if maybe this is going to come in handy with this. Alternate between using this and your more typical hammers. I'll try to get as much of this in you as I can. That certainly is bowling it. I barely have to do any work at all. Hammer's doing all the work. That is murder on your arms. Alright, let's give it another heat. And I know when you hear this sound, that kind of hollow sound, means you're not hitting the bottom of what you're striking against. I was kind of worried about the rebound, but I gotta tell you, now that I got something in there, it's bouncing around pretty well. Well, my first time. It's not too bad. It's actually fairly uniform, but that would make a good candlestick base, that's for darn sure. So overall, I would call this thing a success. So there you go, folks. folks, that's how to make your own alternative swage block at home. Gotta say, I'm really happy with this guy. This little simple piece here turned out very simple. It's very functional and it looks nice. I had absolutely no problem making it nice and uniform. If you guys want to try make one of these yourselves, as far as where to get an old gas tank, check your local welding supplier. Most of the time, if you go in and just ask nicely and say, I'm looking for a defective tank, they'll usually have one that they'll be willing to sell you. And if they don't, if they kind of dance around like they don't really want to sell to you, offer to pay above scrap value, because that's probably what they're worried about, is still making a profit. If they're going to make a profit off of selling you this tank and you tell them, I'm not going to be filling it with gas, I'm going to be cutting it apart and using it for something else, they'll be a lot more willing to sell it to you. Well, folks, thanks for watching today. Please give me that thumbs up. Please give me that subscribe. Let's get to those 1,000 subscriptions and keep this channel going and have it keep growing. Thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your day.